let's dig in a bit more to the silent majority. We have these cultural changes that have come about. Let's dig a bit more in. So, characteristics of the silent majority. The silent majority, as I said before, are mainly people from the suburbs, older persons, or middle working class persons. Their ideals are to go back to Christian values, and they really want this evangelical Christianity. They don't fully want they don't want Catholicism. They don't want more liberal forms of Christianity. They want an evangelical Christianity. They want to cut government spending because they don't want a big federal government. They want a small one. They want to represent a strong front against communism, and you saw that in the Nixon video that I posted. And last but not least, they kind of idealize the past. They want things to go back to the way it used to be, at least according to their imaginations, because what they want actually never existed. They want women to stay at home to be caregivers. They want kids to be kids. Well, women have usually, throughout American history, had some sort of job. They may be at home, they may try and focus on caring for the kids, but they've usually had some sort of job because they have to in order to survive. Take a women's history class from me. We'll talk more about this. So they start to idealize the past and like, we want things to go back to the way it was. Now, what's kind of interesting about this is even though they're saying, well, we want women to kind of go back into the home space, most of the political organizing is being done by women. Women are creating these political groups, and they're usually hosting them in their homes, their suburban homes, saying, why can't we go back to these Christian values? Why can't we go back to these gender values? We are the ones to do this. These women are very similar to the maternalists who are saying we need to fix things because it's our role as women. And these women who are part of the silent majority often see themselves that way. It's our duty to fix because we're women. We know how to fix society. And in their minds, it's government spending, go back to Christian values, and to present a strong front against communism. But the person who is most associated with the silent majority isn't a woman. It's actually, Barry Goldwater. So Barry Goldwater is an enigma in American history, and he is very influential, but we don't talk about him too much. If you remember back to the election where Hillary Clinton was running for president, both elections, she actually worked for the Barry Goldwater campaign. So he drew a following, but he isn't the most remembered person. We tend to talk more about Reagan, but Goldwater, I would argue, is kind of the epitome of the silent majority. So first off, he is from the South, and he's going to represent more Republican values. He comes from a military background, and he'll use that very similar to how Eisenhower did in a previous video. He's going to have a long career in Congress, and throughout his entire career in Congress, he is going to oppose people who are trying to expand the federal government. So even before he's elected to Congress, he's opposing what Roosevelt's doing with the New Deal. He's like, dude, A, that's not what a Democrat does. Democrats are supposed to like small government. And B, we don't want a big government. We don't want this crazy government spending. Stop it. He'll be in Congress when Johnson is in Congress. And he'll be like, dude, nope, no. States' rights. And he'll do that with Kennedy, etc. So Goldwater is part of the silent majority. He doesn't say he's Democrat like other members of the silent majority does. He does run as a Republican, but he says, my values are not being heard. My values are not being heard, and I represent the American people. So Goldwater runs for president in 1964. And how does he do? Johnson wins by a landslide. He doesn't do very well. But there's something very important here. Goldwater carries the South. Goldwater carries the South. The South here says the South says this is what we want. Our voices have not been heard because of all of these Democrats saying they believe that they're Democratic, but they're defending the government. And they're like, okay, we're not going to vote as our fathers have done before us. We're going to vote actually on the issues. And what Goldwater is saying is that Republican equals states' rights, small federal government, Christian values. And this is where we see the slip. And this is the beginning of it. Now, Goldwater loses other parts of the South. But this right here is the most important. South Carolina all the way through Mississippi. That's what's important. The Democrats have lost them. They are now Republican because Republican means small government, states' rights, and Christian values. And this is the